Greetings, I'm Kathathorn, Ruenpirom, currently a Math 4/3 student. I'm number 4, or maybe number 3, depending on the student list. Today, I'm going to show you how to solve this question from exercise 1A in the ratios and proportions. So, first, number 4, school has 630 students. The ratio of the number of the boys to the number of the girls is 3 to 2. This ratio changes to 7 to 5 after the admission of 90 new students. Find the number of the newly admitted boys. Now, what we're going to do first is we are going to categorize all the things that the question has given us. First, they have given us the number of the students currently and the ratio of the boys to the girls, which is 3 to 2. So that means this is boys and this is girls. This ratio changes to 7 to 5 after the admission of 90 new students. That means that after the fact, there will be 90 more new students in. So it's plus 90. Or basically the value is going to change to 720. Now, the ratio will also change to 7 to 5, which is still boys to girls. Okay, now we've got all this. How are we going to solve this question? Well, it is in fact very easy. First, we want to combine these two together so that the cumulative value of these two will equal to 630, because that's the number of all students. But I can't just add these two together. They're not of the same group. Like if I say that I have a gun and a lightsaber, these two things are very different. They are different weapons. This one has a sword and this one is a little sword. Now, I am going to make these two in the same group so that in that way I can combine them together and then solve this question. How am I going to do that? Well, we are going to add a variable, which in this case I'll be using x. Why add a variable? Well, if I add a variable, think of it as this gold ribbon here. I add this gold ribbon to the sword and to the gun. Hooray! Now these two weapons have one thing in common, which is that they are weapons with gold ribbons attached. Now, since they are now sort of the same category, I can combine them together now and I can solve this equation. So that's basically what we're going to do. So, we are going to say let x, right? Let x be a common factor. We can write that a common factor of 3 and 2. We can write that, but for understanding purposes, I will be writing let the number of boys be 3x. See here? We multiply 3 by x. We just added x into the equation. So now, when we say let the number of girls be 2x. Now, these two are in the same category of x. So now I can combine them together. So I can combine these two and make them so that it's now 3 plus 3x plus 2x now equals to 5x. Now, we know that since this is the accumulated value of all students, that means that this particular value, 5x, is going to be equal to 630, since there's 630 students here. So then, what do? we could say that we could transfer 5 over to this side, and since it is multiplying by x, it means that it needs to be changed to divide. Or we could make it more understandable, and we could just say instead that 5, we are going to divide the whole equation by 5. So if are we going to divide the whole equation by 5, basically means that we're going to 5 and 5. Now we just divide 5 and 5, 5, 12, and 6. Right. So that means that x, right, only one x is going to be equal to 126. Now, how does this help us? Well, this helps us to know the actual value of the students here. Out of 630, what does 3x equal in 630 students? Okay, so now we've got this value. We are going to use this 3x because this is the number of the boys. So we're going to say 3x is equal, or we can just transfer x is equal to 6. So we just try times 3 by 126, and it's going to be equal to 378. So that means the number of the boys currently is 378. Okay, now we're going to separate a line here because there's a value after that, after the admission of 90 more students. And the question asked for the number of the newly admitted boys. Okay, so we're going to just do the same thing as the first one. So I'm going to just copy this. I'm going to cheese this out a little bit. So duplicate this. Alright, transfer it to here. Right, and we're just going to change the values. So now we're going to let the number of the boys be 7x. And we're going to let the number of girls be 5x. Right, great. So now, since we changed it, we could plus them together. So now 7x plus 5x is going to be equal to 12x. Okay, now since it's 12x, we could just do the same thing. 12x equals, now we know that the number before is 630. Now the number has changed to plus 90. So now we are going to say 630 plus 90 more students. Now, when we combine them together, we are going to get 720. Now, we are going to do the same thing. Like I said, we're going to divide the whole equation by 12. So that means that it's 12 over 12. Great. Cut this, cut down. Okay. That means that the value of x this time is going to be equal to 60. Now, since we have this value, we could now use 7x. So we're going to use 7 times the value of x, which is 60, and that value equals to 420. Alright, now the value is 420, we can now find the difference between the number of the boys before and the number after, which means that we can now know the number of the newly admitted boys. So we are going to use here, so the number of the newly admitted boys is 420. We are going to minus that by 378, which is the number of the boys before, or yes, the number of the boys before, and now it will equal to let's see, to 42. That means that the number of the newly admitted boys is 42. Or we could just rearrange the sentence and say there's 42 newly admitted boys. It's the same thing. And that's it. That's how you solve this equation. It's very easy. If you have any more questions, please send a comment down below. I will be sure to answer all of them. If you don't understand any point, you can just rewind the video. It's fine. And that's it. I'll see you next time. Thank you.